welcome to the water cooler. We're talking about everything here with fantasy football. We're gonna give you who to keep, who to start, who to sit, who you don't want anymore, who you need to throw away. And yeah, just about everything, any kind of advice we possibly want to give you. Who's going to be good in certain games this week? Who's not going to be good in certain games this week? And just advice. We're also going to put a Madden Game of the Week simulator into each and every week. You will get one game, watch me and Brian go at it, and hopefully it will sort of decide who is the best possible team for that particular game. With that being said, we are not professionals, so I don't want any hate mail in the comment section. I don't want I don't want you to call me stupid. I don't want nothing mean, because I will read that shit and I won't like it, and I am sensitive. So with that being said, this is the water cooler from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I hope you like our show. It's only going to get better from here. Welcome back to the water cooler. I'm your host, Jake Greenman, and I'm going to give you top picks of the week for every game this week. Chicago over Carolina. I think Jay Cutler's just he's too hot right now. That offense is just way too good. We're going to go Tennessee over the Browns. Lions over the Bills. Eagles over the Rams. The Eagles, bar none, one of the best teams in the league, I think. They're just too good. The Rams, horrible. That the quarterback there is, they're having all sorts of quarterback problems. Austin Davis is going to get the start. That's going to be nasty. New York Giants over Atlanta. I like them. I think they're getting comfortable with the offense, and they're heating up. I think that should be a good game, though. That's definitely a strong game. It could go either way. Saints over Buccaneers. Bengals over New England. Dallas over the Texans. I think that's another team that could really pick up here in the next couple of weeks. I think the Dallas is just like the Giants, bar none. They're getting stronger. They're getting very much stronger. And then we got the Colts over the Ravens. Obviously, Andrew Luck is killing it right now. Pittsburgh over the Jags. I'm pretty much taking any team over the Jags. We got the Broncos over the Cardinals. Chiefs over the 49ers, which will be my upset of the week. We'll talk about that later. San Diego over the Jets. And, of course, you got to go Seattle over Washington. All right, so next we're going to go with the Week 5 sit and starts of the week. Here we go. All right, so for sits, the way it works, first of all, we're going to do 3 picks for each team. For the sits, I'm going to go, first off, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is driving me absolutely nuts this season. I picked him up, I think, 5th round I picked up Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald has not done shit for my team. He's now wasting space on my bench. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, let me look at here real quick with Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, the guy is ridiculous. I think his max out here has been 4 points in like one game. It's insane. I'm so upset with Larry Fitzgerald. I'd like to talk about Larry Fitzgerald all day, but we're moving on. Geno Smith. That guy. There's a lot of questionable. There's a lot of questions, a lot of possibilities that Geno Smith might not start, or he might start, but he might not play the whole game. I don't know. There's a lot of confusion right now with the Jets and that QB lineup. Michael Vick might start seeing some time. That's why I want you to sit him. Then we're going to go with Niall Davis. Obviously, Jamal Charles blew it up last week, and Jamal Charles is pretty much done. Or I mean, not Jamal Charles. Niall Davis, I'm sorry, is pretty much. He's done. He might get some, but not enough to garner a possible starting scenario on your fantasy team. There's no way. And then we're going to move over to starting. I got Ben Roethlisberger. Now, Ben Roethlisberger is somebody that I actually really like. If you look at Ben Roethlisberger's his schedule ahead, he's actually somebody you might want to think about picking up. He plays the Jags this week, so that's anytime you got a quarterback playing the Jags. I don't care if you got Aaron Rodgers as your other quarterback. Put Ben in this scenario. Put that quarterback in versus the Jags. And yeah, but I also, like I'm saying, pick up Ben Roethlisberger. At least think about it. He's really got a weak schedule, and I think that he can really do well. He's already been doing well. He's been getting about, on average, 15 points a game. I know he's gotten 18 points already. So good there. Then we're going to go with Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates is Phillip Rivers' key receiver on offense. One of the better tight ends in the league. You probably got him late rounds, like 8 or 9. And if you have, you've really gotten a lot of value out of him because he's catching everything. Phillip Rivers is loving Antonio Gates right now. Doug Martin is my last start. Part of that is maybe a little bit of selfishness or my own hope that he is going to destroy it because he is on my fantasy team. I got to say, I don't know that I completely like the fact that I chose him now in hindsight, but Doug Martin, I like him. He's playing New Orleans. New Orleans has a weak defense, so I think he'll do all right. Yeah, I just don't see New Orleans. When you look at the New Orleans defense, they're one of the worst in the league, in my opinion. I mean, they're all offense. Every time you pretty much see New Orleans, it's a high-scoring game. So I like Doug Martin there. I think he's going to do well. They got Mike Glennon as their quarterback right now still. I think that Mike Glennon is he's going to see some trouble. I don't think they're completely confident in him, and they want to start moving the run game a little bit, especially now that Doug Martin is back. So I like Doug Martin, and that is the 3 start and the 3 sit we have for you this week. All right, so here's some of the highlights from the Madden game Brian and I had. We chose game of the week would be the Cowboys and the Texans. Brian was forced to play with the Texans. He asked me what I wanted, and when you ask me what I want, I'm going to go with the Cowboys when it comes to the Cowboys over the Texans. So 5-minute quarters, and here were some highlights from that game.
Pick up the first down.
They'll go shotgun here. Very nearly intercepted.
Every quarterback in the NFL is going to have 1 or 2 passes a game. They can be picked off. Most of the time they're dropped, and this time that was a bad drop by the defense.
The Texans take it from the 23. Complete to Hopkins. Tackles made, and the first down is picked up.
That play is good for a
Here they are inside the 20, and they keep hope alive.
Yeah, they've done that. Now they got to do the hard part. When you get to this part of the field in the red zone, we know the defense is not worried about deep throws down the field. You got to hit those seams. We'll see if they can get it done.
This long drive continues. Texans, touchdown.
What a tough throw and catch into a tight spot right there for the touchdown. But in today's game, these players are so good that you have to throw it in traffic. They've got to make the catch. That time he did.
Well, you have to think they'll be going for the onside kick now, as they must get the football back in a hurry. The Texans need the ball back, so they're lined up for the onside kick. And unable to pull off the onside kick, the hands team comes away with the football. First down. Let's see what they come up with here. DeMarco Murray is in the backfield. First and 10. Murray's got it on the handoff, and he gains maybe 3.
Hard sometimes as an offensive coordinator to call plays to catch the defense off guard when you're winning and it's late in the game. So they played it very predictable there. The defense was ready, nowhere to go.
The Cowboys have it at the 39. And they tackle him there at the 34.
Power running. A lot of teams in this league don't even do it anymore. This team, they can power it up in there and pick up those tough yards.
Now looking at 3rd down. Double tight end formation. Gives it to him again. And he's going to be tackled. And that's going to bring us to 4th down. The Texans will stop the clock here with this timeout, needing to preserve time. That timeout might be very useful for the offense. They're now ready to go. And this will be a 50-yard field goal try. Puts it through the uprights. Needed plenty of leg on that one.
You got to take advantage of good field position. The offense doesn't do it that time. I know they get 3 points out of it. Nice kick, but still a letdown for the offense.
Johnson's running this one out. Gets out past the 20 and brought down at the 24. First down on the way. This will be the final snap. Throws to the right. Makes the reception. Still powering ahead. Gains 20. That was some game, Phil. A big rivalry win, and a final thought from you.
Oh, man, it makes you feel good.
All right, so the next segment we'll do is a fantasy football. We pick the best possible player from each matchup. And hopefully that gives you a good idea of who to start, who to sit, if you got him on your team. Who's going to blow up, basically, is what this is. All right, so with that being said, let's start it off. Chicago over Carolina. In that matchup, we got Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler is hot. A lot of you may have picked him second, but are now starting him first in your leagues. Got to go with Jay Cutler for that matchup. Tennessee over the Browns. Delanie Walker. All right, now this guy is making some noise. Wasn't a ton of, there's not a ton of talent on Tennessee or the Browns, let's be honest. If Johnny Manziel was playing, I might have picked Johnny Manziel just because I'm obsessed with Johnny Manziel, no matter the talent. And so if you got to pick somebody, we're going with Delanie Walker. Calvin Johnson in the Lions over the Bills. If you are looking at the Lions and the Bills matchup and picking anybody other than damn Calvin Johnson, you're out of your fucking mind. Let's move on. Eagles over the Rams. Now, Eagles are an offense to be reckoned with. You gotta take the Eagles defense. It's the Rams. They're having a nightmare season right now with the quarterbacks. They got Austin Davis. This will be his first game of the season. If you don't think that the Seattle defense is going to pick that, or the Eagles defense is going to pick him apart, you're out of your freaking mind. Chip Kelly is going to reign supreme. Rashad Jennings in the New York Giants over Atlanta. Atlanta, as you know, does not have the best run defense, and Rashad Jennings is one of the best running backs around. He's having a great season so far. Pick Rashad Jennings. Doug Martin and in the matchup of Saints and Bucks. Now, we picked the Saints over the Bucks, but I still like Doug Martin to get his. I think that Doug Martin is going to be relied on heavily now that he's back. He had a decent game last week. I think it only gets better from here. I think that the Saints, they have a god-awful defense, and not only a god-awful defense, but a god-awful run defense. So Doug Martin's going to get his. I still don't think that's going to be enough to beat the Saints, but that's okay. Then we got to go with Giovanni Bernard in the Bengals over New England. New England is on the shitter right now, just about in every possible scenario. Tom Brady's not doing good. Bill Belichick is pissed. I'm loving it, but if you're in New England, you're probably hating it. But I mean, you got to go with Gio. Gio's another great running back. There's a lot of great running backs that I didn't pick that I wish I would have picked for my fantasy team. I would Jamal Charles and Doug Martin, and they were hurt for so far most of the season. So Gio Bernard, Terrance Williams. Now Terrance Williams, I really like. I picked DeMarco Murray to begin when we first went over this. I picked DeMarco Murray, and then I said, wait a minute, let's get a little more interesting because DeMarco Murray is obviously a great pick. But if you really want to think about it a little bit more, I like this new kid, Terrance Williams. He's young and he's getting touchdowns. And the most important thing, as everybody knows who plays fantasy football, is touchdowns. So he's gotten 4 touchdowns in 4 weeks. I like that. I think everybody should like that. If you don't like that, I don't know what you're doing. Terrance Williams for the Dallas over Texans is what we picked. Dallas versus the Houston Texans. Andrew Luck is our next pick, obviously in the Colts over the Ravens. I mean, in a matchup where the Ravens have lost Ray Rice this season, they're trying to kind of figure out their identity now, and on the other hand, you got the Colts, and Andrew Luck was just killing it. Andrew Luck, nobody else. I have Reggie Wayne on my team. Nobody else, though, really, I mean, including him, Reggie Wayne, I'm talking about, really are going to, no one's going to kill it there. I don't see anybody destroying it other than Andrew Luck because he spreads it around so much. So you got to go with Andrew Luck there. I think if you have Andrew Luck, you're definitely playing him. Le'Veon Bell is our next one with Pittsburgh and the Jags. Jags are horrid, and Le'Veon Bell is their premier guy right now. The other one you could do if you wanted to look into that, it might be Ben Roethlisberger, but Pittsburgh's going to rely on that run game. I like Le'Veon Bell a lot. Julius Thomas is that was my phone. My phone just ruined the segment. That's okay. Julius Thomas is going to be our choice for the Broncos over the Cardinals. That was a tough one. I mean, obviously Peyton Manning's going to do all right, but I don't know. I have a little bit of faith in the Cardinals defense. I have them on my fantasy team, and I like them. So I don't know. I'd like to think that the Cardinals could possibly not shut down the pass game. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but slow it down possibly. So I'd like to think that, but in the realistic world, I think Julius Thomas is going to get hit all over that defense again. Not an expert, so this could be off. But if you're looking at it, I like Julius Thomas. He's Peyton Manning's top guy, and yeah, we got to go Julius Thomas there. Jamal Charles in Chiefs over the 49ers. Jamal Charles is the shit. He's the only thing really saving my fantasy football team from being a complete disaster. I love Jamal Charles right now, especially after last week. The man killed it, and I want more Jamal Charles. And I want more from him, and I totally expect more from him in this matchup over the 49ers. 49ers are a little bit of a mess right now. They're not what you're expecting. I think when a lot of people think of the 49ers, they're thinking of a complete domination and one of the best teams in the NFL. And although that might be true on paper, I don't think that the 49ers are possibly going to do the things that you think that they're going to do week to week right now. They're a little bit of a mess. They're a little bit shaky, and they got some errors that a lot of people can't really figure out why they're having those errors. So, Jamal Charles, there's really no other player other than Travis. Maybe Travis Kelce. I really like Travis Kelce, but I don't think that he's going to be they're not leaning on Travis Kelce. They're leaning on Jamal Charles. The Chiefs love the run game. So we're going to go with Jamal Charles right there. Moving on, San Diego over the Jets. I like Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has had a couple of big games in the last couple of weeks. And Phillip Rivers is just another one of those quarterbacks that maybe you picked up late in the fantasy draft, and he's really coming through for you. I think he got like 27 points like a week ago. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, Phillip Rivers is a machine. He's spreading around. He's getting his. I like that. And then the final game of the week is the Seahawks over Washington. Now, the Redskins are another team that I would have thought Kirk Cousins would have been better than what he was. I picked him last week, and I got burned for it. I'm not going to get burned for it this week. I think if he put up, 4 interceptions last week, I think that he's definitely going to put up twice, if not 3 times that much against an amazing Seattle defense. But on the other hand, I guess Seattle has had some hiccup. They had like one hiccup, but I don't know. I don't know what that was. I think they're going to be all right. I think Seattle's going to kill Kirk Cousins. So we're going with Seattle there over Washington. All right, guys. Thanks for watching our show. This was our first episode. So drop anything in the comments you want, critiquing us, telling us what we could change, what we couldn't change, or what we need, or what we did great. Also, I want to say, any questions you guys got, anything you want to send us, send it to us. We'll figure it out and try and put it into the show. That way we can have another segment. We'd like to do that where we answer people's questions that they send in things, just like other stuff you've seen before. We want to make it more of an interactive experience with our viewers. So, yeah, I'd like to thank our sponsors. And stay playing fantasy football.